Now let's test if it actually has made it quieter. I'm using the same stretch of road that I used before, and I've got my sound meter on my phone, so we can check that out. Hey there, what's up everyone? So I want to embark on a small project here with my Elise to try to make it a little bit more quiet. And I know the Elise is not a quiet car, but I've been slowly eliminating all these squeaks and rattles and things that are annoying me. I was reading a really good thread on Lotus Talk about how people added some sound deadening on the floors and on some of the other panels and in the doors, and it really made a big difference in terms of the noise levels. So I think I'm going to embark on a little project like that. I don't want to add too much weight because this is a lightweight car, but I think it would be nice to lower the sound a bit. So this is kind of my baseline to get a good reading on what the sound levels are currently in the Lotus. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go on the freeway and get a measurement there, because that's probably like, you know, the loudest situation. And I want to get that as a baseline, so I've got an app on my phone, and then that way I can see if the sound deadening actually made any improvements or if it was all just in my head. All right, so here we are. We're basically just cruising 6th gear on the freeway, about 75 miles an hour. And actually it's not that bad. Okay, in my never-ending quest here to try to make the Elise a little bit quieter and a little bit more livable, I'm going to add some sound deadening underneath the carpet under the seats. It's already got a sound deadening thing, but I'm actually going to put some of this other thicker mat. I'm going to cut it exactly the size of the carpets and just set it under there. I think it'll be perfect and will really help. So it's already got some sound deadening stuff on it, so we're really just going to add the other, this stuff to it, the thicker noise reduction panels. All right, so here's a tip. If you are putting the sound deadening, the really thick material, the Luxury Liner Pro underneath your floor mats, you actually are gonna need to trim it further up than these holes, because the little grommets that hold the floor mats in are actually not deep enough to go through the carpet, the floor mat, plus this material. So what I'm doing is I'm just trimming a little bit off here so that those grommets will still go in. You'll want to do the same thing on the edge here where the Velcro is. So you actually need to make the Luxury Liner Pro stuff a little bit smaller than the floor mat. All right, so what I'd actually recommend is attaching the Velcro part up at the end. Crawl in here, get that tacked down, and then that's gonna give you the right position for all this stuff, and then wedge this up underneath it, all the way up to the Velcro. All right, now this is for the sound deadening. We basically got all the added sound deadening in here that we needed. Put pieces of, there was already the deadening material underneath here, the damper, but what we did put was the thick foam underneath here. And I'm just laying it down in there. I'm not gluing it down or anything. It's not gonna go anywhere. Even the OEM carpets that were in here were just laid down. They're not glued in. So I just cut the foam to match, put it in, and I'm laying the carpets right over it. Hopefully you can see this with the flashlight. They already had the dampening material on the aluminum, which helps take out the vibration. And then I just added, again, the thick foam here, and I just cut it to the size to fit underneath the floor mats. And I had to actually, you might be able to figure out a better way to do it here. I actually had to cut it off here to make sure that it could still attach with the little grommet thingies with these little buttons. But probably what I could have done is just do a bigger hole, but I'm happy with this. I think it'll be good. All right, so on the topic of sound deadening, a lot of people pull out this rear piece here. A lot of people in the forums have mentioned taking this out and adding sound insulation behind this to try to dampen the sound in the car a little bit more. I'm actually not gonna do that. One, because my car came with the touring package, so there is already some sound deadening materials in there as part of the touring package. So I don't think it's necessary. And two, it's kind of a lot of work, especially with the harness bar in there. You got to take that out. You got to pull all this out. You got to pull the speakers out. It's kind of a lot of effort, and I don't think the benefit is going to be too noticeable because I already have the touring package. I think if I didn't have the touring package, I might go ahead and do that and try to get in there, but it already has some foam material in there that should dampen the sound. Other people have talked about pulling this carpet off, which is the fuel tank is right here, and using that, adding some sound dampening to that. I'm also not going to do that because frankly, the fuel tank is a pretty good insulator. It is, I don't think it creates a lot of sound, and I certainly don't think when it's full, I don't think it transmits a lot of sound through it. So I kind of took a look at it. I lifted up the carpet here. I put a little bit of the damping material on this piece, but the rest, it's not really that loud. It sounds pretty solid, so I wasn't too worried there either. But yeah, so overall the project is pretty much done. As you can tell, just need to put in the seats, give it a good vacuum while everything's out, cleaned everything up, and then we will be all set. right, so we're basically done. All the seats are back installed, torqued down, seat belts reinstalled. Everything is good to go. So now we'll take it for a little test drive and see if there was really a noticeable difference in the sound levels at all. All right, so I had the Lotus Elise here apart for some other work that I was doing, and I decided to take the opportunity to add some sound deadening to the big aluminum under panels of the car, which just act like a drum when stuff hits them. And I think they really contribute a lot to the noise in the car. So what I did was, let me show you here. I just took a little bit of this sound deadening material and stuck it on. This is the rear diffuser here. And then this is the engine access cover that has these NACA ducts in there, and just added some of this Damplifier Pro material. You don't actually have to cover the entire thing with sound deadening material, because what it does is it's a little bit heavy, so it takes out the vibration, but they generally recommend putting a section of it on somewhere near the middle of the material so that it will dampen any kind of things that hit it. So I think it's going to make an improvement. So we'll see. Certainly, you know, it might add a few ounces of weight to the car, but if it increases the livability a little bit, that will certainly be nice. Okay, so I'm finally done with the sound deadening project that I was working on for a while, trying to make the Elise a little bit more comfortable and just a tiny bit more refined. It's never gonna be a very refined car, but just trying to make it a little bit quieter. So now let's test if it actually has made it quieter. I'm using the same stretch of road that I used before, and I've got my sound meter on my phone, so we can check that out. So last time we were in 6th gear, we're on this stretch of road, and we'll see. We'll take a sound level reading here in a minute. You can see here. So we can see what we've got. This is the section of road that's very loud, as you can tell from the tires and just the pavement. So we can see we're hovering around like 65, 66, 67 dB. Which really is not that bad. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, it seems quieter to me. I would say there's still a lot of wind noise from up here, so I'm gonna try to adjust the windows next, maybe a little bit, see if that helps. If we can maybe adjust the windows to get a little better seal around the edge there, because I feel like the road noise is a bit better with the sound deadening under the seats and under the floor mats, but the wind noise, there's still quite a bit of wind noise, and there probably always will be. But I'll see if I can make any adjustments on the windows there.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring the bell so you can get notified when we post a new video.